some good old programming. Hope everyone's doing well today. Hope everyone's had a good day so far. Oh. Yeah, I hope everyone had a good weekend as well. That is the big thing. Good lord, I did get some good time to hang out with some friends over the weekend, which was nice. And it really did help do kind of like a bit of a reset of my brain, which was useful. So, as you've probably noticed as well for this week in the schedule, we're going to be working on this game a fair bit. I'm going to be honest. That's technically a lie. The 3 streams that are scheduled for this, working on this project, are kind of, how do I describe it? They're loose ones. So we'll be working on this project primarily, but I'm being honest, it's just pure and simply I didn't have something to put in the 3rd slot, so we're just gonna do this, and I'm a little tired at the moment from a lot of things, so I don't know how much we will actually be getting done. Cause yikes. Alright, let's open up the project. Oy, oy, oy. Alrighty, because at this point in time, I believe the main stuff we have that we're working on is still continuing to do the shift with weapons and such. And the changes around that. Admittedly, my brain's also been working on a very old project again, so I'm a little like out of it with this project because I haven't been thinking about this one specifically and the improvements to this, but I have been thinking about the other game, which I can't exactly show. Shit. Need to make sure everything's in the right places. Let's see here. That is my research that I need to work on later. Oh yeah, I started watching Summertime Rendering the other day. I'm not far into like 7 episodes. It's interesting so far. The fact that it's like a 24 episode or something series, like I'm worried how much more it's got to tell with where it is at the moment. But I do like the concept. The fact that it's a Groundhog Day, but like actually limited. With not such a hard leashing to it as some others. Okay, so let's just play a little bit of the game to see where we're at with things. Get my brain jogging. If there's anything I can immediately think, I guess there's the shrines. Shrines could do with a bit of a facelift. That's the first thing I think of, looking at what I've got here. To be fair, the biggest problem with shrines is that they visually look fucking foul. Did we manage to actually fix the issue? I still need to do something about that. Okay, so that's one thing we need to do. Okay, let's look into that then. How about we remove the release check from it and just only have this check? In case that may have something to do with it. And add... let's add that in. Does that make it feel better? No. Oh, cats. You two need to have a better job of figuring out a way of sitting without being really fucking annoying. Okay, no. No, you two are just fighting to sit on top of each other again. You have no idea how irritating that process is for me. When I'm just sitting there and it's just this constant, like, struggle of the two stacking on top of each other. Why is that not working? Let's have a quick reset of that works. Okay, indeed it does. Nice. How do I want to approach this? If change input, room change input is not equal room, then set the thing and then set the timer. And the timer is set in main, I believe. Yeah, here. And there's a full second before it should even allow input again. So yeah, I do set it to 0. Visual code pain, but works. I hate visual code. I will never, if I have the choice, I will never work with visual codes. I can't stand them. It sounds so weird, but like genuinely, I think my brain... So my brain kind of visualizes code already. So when I have a competing concept in front of me, it just breaks it. Like that's my biggest issue. Is that's why I absolutely despise Unreal, right? Because you've got blueprints in that, which is basically a visual code. I wouldn't even say basically, it is a visual code. And it's either you code with that or you code with the weird amalgamation C#, C++, whatever the fuck you want to call the C that it uses under the hood. I know it's supposed to be C++, but I'm pretty sure from memory it functions. It has some functionality that's more C# than C++. I just don't like Unreal. I can make stuff in it. I can make a character move perfectly fine, but if I have the choice of never touching that program, I will take it for as long as I can, up until a specific point. Engines can be funky. Engines can be funky. It's something I've learned a lot more now is how often in-house engines are made. I mean, technically speaking, yeah, Unreal Engine is the Fortnite engine now. Right? Like, it was originally made for Unreal Tournament. Now it's been shifted to Fortnite, and it's specifically designed with that in mind. So anything else that's made with it has to fight against not being Fortnite, basically. Which just sounds really strange. They bought it. Well, yeah, it's Epic bought it. There's a lot of stuff to it, but it's that is realistically what it is. Right, because it was one of the most used engines commercially, and it still is. I would argue it is definitely, if you want to make a high quality game, Unreal Engine is definitely probably a good bet, but that's normally because you've got like a team and stuff like that. But that's why I was saying, like, now it's becoming more and more commonplace especially because of last year of Unity. Now more companies are more willing to take a step back and make their own. Unity 1 on 2D, Unreal 1 3D. Yes, I do agree with that. Good, I was catching up. So is Game Maker. There's like another 2 engines I can think of that are pretty prevalent. I will say, and this is a misunderstanding I feel like a few people have that look at Godot with rose tinted glasses. It is not the be end all one. It's just a solid engine, just like any other. And that's where again I return to the fact that most developing companies make their own engines now anyway. It's just good. Yeah, like it's lightweight is its benefit. It's lightweight, it's early on in its development, so it's got a very low load cycle. That's what's good, the biggest benefits to it. But just like Game Maker, just like any of the others, it will slowly inflate, and that runtime will probably get slower and slower eventually open source means you can change it. Yet, I will admit, that is probably the biggest selling point, which is actually why I'm excited for Game Maker this year. Game Maker is going more and more open sourcey with everything. One of the biggest changes that's coming forward is basically the ability to add in plugins that modify the whole IDE. Which is why I said earlier, like, another stream, one of my temptations is to make a edit to the IDE around how it does its IntelliSense, to mirror something more like Visual Studio, where it actually checks what you're referencing and what possible options it has, which would make doing structs and stuff like that just several times easier. Because it means that like one of the biggest detriments is, right, is if I do like right here global dot fucking, we're looking for player stats, right? That one. If I then press the dot for it, none of that's fucking related to what it is. It's telling me just any variable it possibly could be. So it goes through all the built-ins, and then it runs out because it doesn't have anything else. So if I start typing in, okay, which one here is what I'm supposed to get? Because obviously I'm trying to get a health thing. There's so many health things here. This is my biggest problem with Game Maker. That's one of the edits I'd like to have, is just a better IntelliSense system that it would just check the code. It shouldn't be too hard, because all it would need to do is basically check if it is if this variable is considered a struct, if it's a struct, and you put a period there to get it as a get a variable of it, then check the variables that it has available. So it should just be a bit of reading that it needs to do. Which would also mean making another thing would be really, really cool, because you can make function structs. There's a lot of weird stuff you can do with it that I do not do, which I could, and it would probably make coding it a bit easier in some regards, but it's just it's harder because how much memory you have to have to, like, your memory, not a computer memory. That's my biggest gripe with Game Maker, is how much you have to remember on what you're working about, not which you could make an argument of, well, put up with it, right? Which I think is a reasonable argument in a sense. But at the end of the day, like, if I can make, as a programmer, 90% of your job is to try and make your job easier, be it in the future or the present, right? Like, why am I trying to make malleable code? Why have I got such, like, the ability to basically input just about anything as my fucking abilities and weapons and stuff like that, regardless of its typing, even if it doesn't actually follow the structure I want? Well, that's because I've designed it in a way that makes it more malleable. More, by doing that, it means that I have less problems across the board. It's still designed within a scope, but just means that standardization becomes a very hard game to follow when you're doing this on your own. That's, I think, one of the big other complaints I have. I mean, you want to know one of my minor complaints that I feel like could be really easily added to the IDE? If I type this, right? If whatever, let's just say, fucking, whoops. If true, that only comes up with one. I have to put in the next one. No, I see you cats are not sitting on me for today. You are pissing me off too much with your constant climbing over each other. And if I let one of you on, I let both of you on. Okay, so what is wrong with this system? Why is this not fully working? Maybe I need to do this separate to the input. Maybe that's what's happening. To do that in like the main controller could be step event, because like, to be fair, keep in mind get input is being called in a lot of locations, so there's potentially it's calling it too many times and it's causing issues. So what we want here is if not room and not true. Let's see if that works. So again, controller, we should be safe with fucking around with this because it's better. So we're looking for specifically quick start. No, that still seems to not stop it correctly. Well, I guess it could be stopping it. Let's make this 2 seconds. Let's like just be really aggressive on the time that it gives. So you're not just like clicking the same thing. Keeping in mind that like the moment you take your finger off the button, it should be fine. Because it could be still working, it's just that it's... No, see, that's surely... Okay. Super aggressive. 10 seconds. I'm now having to look into this because I'm concerned that something's happening here. But this is kind of what I was talking about with the, like, using a struct and then putting functions inside of the struct. It's a good system in some regards, but because IntelliSense is shite, I don't like using it myself. Oh my god, how fucking long are these? Bro, at that point in time, just fucking make it go next line. Doesn't even look like you use the activation delay here, so. Maybe I'm wrong. See, this is the thing. It's so yeah, it's pulling key enter. Key enter should equal 0. So do I need to make sure it's equaling false instead of 0? Would that fix it? I know is what it is, but you know, you never know with this stuff sometimes. Does not seem to be working. So I need to open up debug mode. And in the debugger, we need to open up okay. It's not just me that's not seeing that look like it's changing, right? Is this the correct call that I want? You can check to see if a key has been pressed or not. This is only when it switches. Okay, so that's been the big mistake. So I just need keyboard check. And that should fix this. let's try and debug again so I can check variables if I must. Why aren't you watching it? You're not giving me a value. Yep, so that was the issue. If I just keep holding, there we go. We hold, it should be about 10 seconds and then we hear noise. Okay, they fixed that issue. I'm probably content having this here instead of in the get input. In fact, there's an argument to be made, I should move this above the get input in here. Oh. Alright, I'm gonna be back in just a second. Alright, and we're back. Oh, yo. Alright. There is one quick check that I think I want to have. Interesting. I don't want to see what that issue was again, if I can replicate it. That was very strange. No, it doesn't seem to be consistent. I love inconsistent issues. Okay, I'll look into that later. But we've now cleaned that up. Is there anything on the list here? Oh yeah, there was this, but I don't really feel like doing that at the moment. Waiting on stuff for that. Actually, that's a good point. I haven't checked Git in a while. I wonder if my friend has pushed anything. Yeah, I haven't checked in 12 days. Good lord. No. It's sort of done. I mean, I'm outside of visual stuff, there's not really much I can add to this current thing. I mean, we could go look over some of the modifiers again and muck around with that. Because it was the other spawn thing that I wanted to do as well, I guess. But that requires some assets. Welcome to my constant dilemma with this game. My current and constant dilemma, which is I don't want to do the assets. I really hate doing assets. It takes a long time and is very, very slow and tiresome. But also, they are the thing that I need to work on. I have like a lot of cool ideas, but I'm just not got the time nor... I've not got the time and I'm lacking a little bit of the motivation I think I need to be able to do it. And it's definitely irritating. Because, like, again, it is the big thing that this game needs at this point, is me to just pull my shit together and work on assets. If I work only on assets from now until pretty much release, the game will be fine. We could do some framework stuff. this is one thing I could muck around with a little bit, but again, that's in a field that I worry for. I could do some framework for it though. But we've already kind of added part of this. The other part we haven't added is shape, if I recall. Is it under this? Go back to the workspace. Yeah, here we go. Enemy spawning. Deal damage. Spawn location repeats enemy. Enemy struct constructor, stat scale enemy change struct stats, enemy get struct stats, enemy set stats from struct, which is the scaling and stuff like that. Where did I put the... I think it's in my scripts one, isn't it? That's enemy debuff. Pathing movement, that's what it's under. Yeah. So it would be a thing here. It could be an if statement or it could be a switch statement. We could make it a switch statement purely in case we want to add different wave types in the future. But an if statement works all the same. If else stuff, right? We could do that. Switch sounds more accurate to this type though. And then we just take this and we put it in here. There we go. Yeah, it's because I'm not actually using it at the moment, that's fine. Because what I'm probably gonna do, by the way, as well, so in Vampire Survivors and in Holocure, what they'll do is that when the thing would spawn, there's an alert of some kind from the direction or anything like that. I'm not putting that into this function. What I will probably do is I will probably make a function for that, and then I will probably make a overall function for each instance for specific maps, right? Like I'd have a map based ruling of like, this is all of the events that will happen for this specific map, and they will always follow this sort of method. Again, that's kind of mirroring holocure in a sense with that, where there's not as much randomization. It means that you can know what you're getting into and know more consistently. We will potentially want to add modifiers as well to these enemies. So what I might do is I might have this as a return thing. So this means that we could also go through them and modify their health values additionally on top of what they already have. That actually sounds pretty reasonable. Okay. So with that being the case, we also need to do the weapon stuff at some point, which is going to be interesting to add, because it should just be a couple of quick conditional checks. You make a VTuber game that you can have no. I'm sure there is plenty of those out there though. I think I saw a couple of them at one point. Dude, waiting for Iron Mouse visual novel. When? Actually, wasn't there one made for like the game jam that she posted at one point? I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure there was one or two. No, I'm not that good of an artist. If you can find me an artist that's willing to work with me, and I'm not going to pay them, then sure. That sounds really mean when I say it that way, but it's genuinely the case. So, how would I do the circle spawn? It would be origin. Then it would be... Okay, so it would be a weird one. But what I would need to do is... Okay, so... Using origin, set the center point, then use sprite size to set distance. of each ring. Set ring density. Just ring amount. This scaling. Whoops. Have this scales. How about an Easter egg? No. While I do intend to add a couple of more Easter eggs to the game than I already have, that is definitely not one that I would add. I gain no benefit out of it, as well as how am I going to get it done. Again, I'm not an artist, I'm a programmer. I'm already struggling with the art of this game as it is. But I like the enthusiasm. I thought you were a base dev. I like that that's your criteria for it. What a fucking intro, Sasha. I know why it's doing that, but fuck me, I was not prepared for that. I was really not prepared for the fucking whatever that was. The idle song being weird like that. That caught me off guard. Again, I 100% know why it's like that. Does not stop the fact that it's like that and it's funny. Again, part of that whole I need to finish reworking all of the items. One day. One day. Okay, I need to do some counting. Where's paint? It's gonna do counting with paint. That's the wrong pen. That's a real pen. We want this pen. The fake pen. So, 1. Six. Like that, right? What are the goals for today's dev stream? Not really got any, not got any hard goals for today. Kind of the general thing for the week is like going through, seeing what I haven't finished, cleaning up where I can, because I just need, again, asset work is the main thing that needs to be done. So I'm going to try and introduce the circle thing that I said I would in the past. Sigma dev using paint for model. No, it's just paint for math. for now. 1, 2, 3, 6. Yes, that's 12. So 1, 6, 12. And then I'm assuming it's just going to go to 24 on the next one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, 24. Okay. But yeah, it's just at the moment been getting swamped by assignments, so it's probably just best if I take it a bit slower and safer. Okay, so what we might do is, do I make a rule? Okay. Do I make it so when I write repeats, it's not how many are spawned, but how many rings are spawned when I spawn a ring? And then do the math in here. That might not be a bad bet. Okay. So then I need to do... Oh god, this is going to be fun. So... Okay, I think that's probably how I approach it. It's either that or I do that, but then I have to... Okay, so buffer is set there. The buffer is what separates them. So buffer would be in this, so... There we go. Have a good day and see you next time. See you next time as well, Sasha. Enjoy your tests. Hope they're not too bad for you. I'm going to have to pull up the code for you. In fact, I'm going to put that on my second screen to make it easier to read. Of course, the IDE goes above the fucking window. Because this is where I have my directional math, which is what I want for the pathing. So... enemy spawning. We will need to add in a variable pass to find out which index the variable will be. So we can basically, so we can set the enemies. Independent of like manually setting them here. It shouldn't be too hard to add a thing for it. Array unit. So for so this is where again I beg the question. Do I do repeat equals rings for the circle ones? I think that's the correct thing. So what we're going to have here is var. No, it's outside of this is where we're going to have to set that, right? Var ring amount, right? Yeah, we'll go over ring amount. So it starts at 6. So it's at 6, then it goes to 12, then it goes to 24. So it's always times 2. So at the end of this for loop, ring amount times equals 2. And then for this, it's going to be var j equals 0, j is less than ring amount, and then j plus plus. So one variable I'm gonna need here is, okay, how do I do this? Ooh. It's gotta be... be var direction equals 360 divided by ring amount. Gotta love the OST. Oh man, I wish I had an OST that's good. Simple way to make a banger OST, make one, you know. You're not wrong, I guess. To be fair, again, this is one of those, I am nowhere near musically literate, and I would like to be. Because I used to be for a while. I used to be able to pick up a guitar and just play, or sit at a piano and play, and I would just play until it made sense. And once I did, then I would just play things, and it would sound nice. I did not know how to read sheet music or anything like that, but I could play really, really well. It was actually after I started reading sheet music and learning how to do that stuff is when I stopped being interested. So I'm wondering if that's what I kind of need to go back to, or if I need to approach it a bit more formally. We'll see. Okay, so... just chuck a bunch of spaghetti at a child and see what's eaten. Spaghetti or the child. You know, that's not a bad bit. Oh, direction's one that's already passed through, so I need to actually change this. To angle, I guess. Because I need to then... Ow! Sorry, my headphones me that they're low battery and it's really, really loud. Didn't charge them like at all since fucking Friday or some shit. So they've done pretty well. I love these headphones for that. I don't need to charge them all that often. Why is that your sense of humor? It's, yeah, we all have that though, right? Just that fucking like, what the fuck's wrong with me kind of sense of humor. You didn't charge what? For headphones, the spaghetti or the child? A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, a little bit of column C, I guess. And then with anything happened today you want to tell an idiot? To be fair, nothing's really happened so far today. It's been just shit's tiring at the moment. Assignments coming in constantly. Nearly done with the semester and fucking miserably doing so. And yeah, that's honestly that's pretty much it. Well, we charged the headphones, so something did happen to the headphones. Spaghetti, I don't have any in the house at the moment, so nothing happened to that. And the child, I don't have any of those in the house either at the moment, so I would assume nothing happened to that as well. Lovely cat, you smacked your head on the fucking door. I heard that. The spaghetti was chucked at the child. Yeah, but that wasn't in the house. So therefore, it's not important to me. I don't have to clean it up. Just imagine someone going to a park, seeing your kid, and just throwing some spaghetti at it. No cats. I have already told you no sitting on the lap today. Y'all fucking lost that permission. I think this should work. Is that not normal? Surprisingly enough, no. Give the permission back? No. am not putting up with today the cats doing what they fucking do all the time. So if I let one cat on my lap, I would have to let the other one on because it's just fair. And what they're doing at the moment, which is really hard to stream while they're doing this, is they'll try and sit on top of each other, and they'll constantly be doing that over and over again. And I'm just really not in the mood for it today. Like, they've got plenty of places around the house that is perfectly warm and capable for them to sit and enjoy. And it's just, the fact is that they're both getting old and they both want the most warmth available to them, which means that they will use the other one as the warmth. But instead of curling up next to each other and giving mutual warmth, one wants more than the other, basically. And they can't handle the other one being on top of them for too long because it's fucking expensive. It's very hard for them. They're more important than hobby, jobs, and life. Yes, but there's also a level of I can only put up with so much. They are more than fine on their own. On their own. Fucking owns, Jesus. Like, I don't need to interact with them too much more than I already do. They're perfectly fine. They're perfectly capable. See, he's jumped up on the bed and he's gonna go sleep there. I give him love. I do give him love, just off stream. Like, I'm not kidding. Once stream's over, they'll be sitting on my lap again and I will be fine with that. It's because I'm streaming that I'm not wanting to. That's genuinely the only rationale. You know how many people I know that are actually, like, have a big thing about not wanting the cats to jump on their lap? It's so weird to me. Like, if one of my friends really fucking doesn't like it, and it's like, well, you've come to a house with cats. It's like, yeah, but I don't like it. And it's like, well, then set clear ground rules with them. And it's like, well, no, I'm just going to slightly nudge him away. And it's like, he's not going to get the fucking hint. My dude. It's like, well, I don't want to be mean. It's like, well, you're already being mean. Choose. Fucking goddamn it. Okay. This should work. I want to test it. Do I still have like a commented out version of this? I do. I just turned into jelly. Fair. Direction, origin. Wave type is 1. Buffer is not this, but enemy, yeah. Unit list. What is the values from here? Because I'm sure I can get a sprite. I'm already jelly, fair. So sprite. What is it actually called here? Just sprite. Cool. Would this work? I wonder. Cube noises. Dude, slime girls though. Good shit. Give me a slime girl. Actually, that's the real question. What's better, a slime girl or a cat girl? Both are good. But technically speaking, potentially, the slime girl is like capable of looking like a cat girl, so it's just better. Okay, that didn't work, so I'm just gonna keep with the original value between for now. Let's see how it looks. Dude, the amount of hentai I've seen with slime girls is probably more than cat girls now, actually, now that I think about it. Oh. Juno Best Goopy Gooper? Who's Juno? I don't know if I know Juno off the top of my head. I mean, I know Rimuru fucking top tier for me. You could call that a slime boy or a slime girl or whatever. It's a slime. Oh, I don't set the center one to do it. Okay, that's a mistake on my part. Let's see, Juno slime. Shall we search that up? Oh, damn. Yeah, it's pretty good. From Omega Strikers. I never ended up playing Omega Strikers personally. Not that it looked like a bad game, it actually looked like a really good game, but... just never played it. Because wasn't that the one where... it was the ex-League of Legends developers for that one, I believe? Didn't it also go under? Let's see, Odyssey has decided to end development of Omega Strikers after their custom games update and focus on a new project set in the same universe. Servers will remain up and balances patches will still be made, but there will be no more content, especially Omega Strikers. Essentially, Omega Strikers is on a deathbed. Okay, I don't agree with the whole deathbed thing, but you know... the only microtransactions are cosmetics or characters you can get by winning 2 games. See, that I'm fine with. I think that's reasonable monetization. Non-aggressive, non-predatory. I do think it's sad that they're not willing to commit more with something like events and battle passes. Because there's levels of how to do that that would be really cool to see for a game like that, but yeah. Still got a big player base everywhere other than Steam. I mean, the fact that they're still running the servers indicates to me that they got enough money out of it and they can see enough longevity with it that it'll be fine. And the fact that they've enabled custom game development in it sounds really interesting. I'm assuming it's just like within context of the game, custom lobby sort of things that you can do. Not like excessive customization, but baseline customization, which is, I mean, if it's StarCraft 2 level customization, the game will keep going for a good while, but there's a battle pass, but you can't buy it, which kind of defeats the point. Well, yes and no, right? So I want to point to the best like iteration of a battle pass I've seen, which is Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 had probably the best battle pass system I've seen to date, and it's the fact that each the battle pass is basically infinite. It will never go away, but there will be more things added, and you can kind of pick things out of it that you want. So you're never left behind by not playing immediately. But it does mean that you're going to have to do a lot more grinding later on. And yes, you can pay money to speed it up, which I think that is exactly what more battle passes should approach with. One of my big disdains for battle passes nowadays is the mix of premium and non-premium versions of it. I'm coming to dislike that more and more, just because it creates a mentality that I know I have towards it, and I know a lot of other people have towards it, and I see this with like League of Legends and with other ones, is that they'll give you a bit of free stuff through it, then mainly paid for stuff, mainly on the premium version stuff, and it incentivizes either you buy it and you don't get everything out of it, or you're incentivized to keep playing until you get everything out of it, so you stress yourself out and burn out because of that. Or you do play enough of it and then you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna only get it when I get it at the end. Like, if I've said with the League of Legends event pass at the moment, if I manage to hit max, I will put in the little bit of money I need to buy the full pass so I can get the Kale skin. The best iteration I've seen is Master Duel. You buy it for 700, it lasts 2 months. You can either get gems by winning 3 games or spending $5, but doing that makes you feel bad. Basically, the microtransactions are only there to make people play ranked more. Why pay $15 for a thing when I could just play a load of the game and keep it going? Yeah, like there's another one that I've seen a lot of argued, which is that battle passes should use in-game currency for purchasing. And I think that's an interesting one because I can't remember what game it did this, but there was a game that the premium battle pass would give you back more than it cost to buy it. It does? Okay, so this might be the one of the examples of it though. But it's like it would give you more than you got, more than it took to pay for it. So it meant that if you just grinded out the pass, you could infinitely have the pass. And I think that's reasonable. It's definitely an iteration of it that I think sees some merit and could use some exploration. I would definitely be interested to see where it goes with that, right? Because like, this is the thing, at the end of the day, I've talked about how much I dislike kind of the movement that we have now of games as a service model, but I'm also not going to deny that that is the case, right? I'm not ignorant of how systems work. So I would definitely find that a fascinating kind of like thing to look into. The battle pass in Yu-Gi-Oh does that too. You pay 700, you get back 700 new icons, new dual mate, and 300 dust. 30 dust is one hyper rare card. Yeah, like that's close to kind of what I mean, in the sense that like what I mean is there was, it wasn't Fortnite, was it? It's like one of them where it's basically in that context you would pay 700 and you would get like 840 back. So you would actually net gain the paid for currency from the pass alone, which I think is just an incredibly interesting idea. I think it's very, very valid, and I think it's a good way to approach it, because we've seen with Asia, loyalty systems are starting to get banned, right? They're starting to get poorly treated. So less games are doing loyalty-based rewards and are doing more, like they're approaching dailies different. They're approaching battle passes a bit more aggressively, and that sort of stuff. I mean, like there's the battle pass in, or whatever I think it's like Nameless Honor is what it is in Star Rail. And that one, the difference between the normal pass and the premium pass is pretty aggressively different. It's kind of irritating how different it is sometimes. But Dust in You is really valuable because you can't buy it. I think it's like 30 dust is 800 gems in value. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not the case. I'm saying that, again, this is kind of the point that I'm trying to make. I'm not saying that doesn't have its value. I'm saying that it would give the premium currency in addition. That, I think, is the correct approach. I think Hearthstone did that for a little while, actually. So, again, it's not disputing that, but like that's the thing, is any battle pass should be giving you stuff, right? Like, new icons, dual mat, and the 300 dust, that is stuff that is disregarded of this argument, is kind of the point I'm trying to make. That is the stuff that the pass gives you. What I'm kind of suggesting is that the pass, in addition, gives you enough paid for currency to buy itself and more at the end. And that's what I think would be really interesting to explore more. In terms of just specifically the currency to buy it. Just that currency, not talking on all the other stuff that it will give you, just that currency. Because again, I have seen that done in some games and it has been successful. And in fact, what it does is it creates this environment where the player is now incentivized to put in money, at least initially, to get that first pass. And by doing that, they perpetuate it and continue it, and that makes that creates value there. There is definitely some arguments as to like, well, at what point in time do you do that? But then you have to potentially inflate cosmetics costs to like make that equivalent. After each duel you gain 100 gems, but if you have the pass you get 150, 300, so it's similar-ish. Yeah, again, I kind of get what you mean. Okay, that part I dislike personally to an extent. I do not think so this is where I will talk to one issue I see a lot, which is that you buy the premium pass and you get more EXP or more quests or whatever to get more EXP. Basically, by getting the premium one, you're guaranteed more levels by earning them than you would be if you didn't. Now, I'm not against paying for levels. I'm against paying to get better leveling, because I think that gives a really, really bad toxic thing to it. Again, I'll use Dota and Star Rail as the two examples to this point. Star Rail, the highest pass you buy can buy you 10 levels, and you can buy levels independently, but it does not change the quests that you get. The things to get the EXP, nothing changes. You just get 10 additional levels for buying the max level pass, and then you can just buy levels if you really choose to. Realistically, you do not need to. I have maxed out the pass without purchasing the pass for multiple passes now. Alright, so It's never an issue. Whereas Dota consistently has EXP bonus, like a pass point bonuses when you buy the pass. One of the times I remember was something like 30%. So it means that by not paying money, I am 30% more behind than the average player that has bought the pass. If you played the same amount as me, you are 30% ahead for paying. Which, when you're talking about most passes, that's not that much, right? Like, we talk about a 70 pass thing. Even when you're kind of reaching max level, like, yeah, there'll be a few levels ahead of you, but you're still fine. The problem is with Dota is that we're talking about battle passes that have hundreds of like things, which is literally impossible to not finish or get to the higher ranks without actually buying levels in addition to this experience bonus. That is a bad battle pass system because that incentivizes really bad things and is extremely toxic, right, to the player. It's because it's what the player is going to think is, I need to do this, I need to do that. You should never tell your player you need to do something. You should incentivize the player to spend money. That is fair, right? Because you got to make money. But you should not make the player feel that it is necessary to accomplish something, which is where pay to win is a difficult concept, right? Pay to win, there is room for it and there is not room for it. One thing I liked about Warframe, I've talked about this before, Warframe is more of a pay to grind a lot of the time, where if you buy the Prime Access, you get the Warframe, sure, but you've paid to lessen one set of grind and pay to aggressively grind another thing. Is that much really that great? Like, I could get most Warframes without ever spending a fucking plat at all, or real dollars. But if you pay for the real money, you're incentivized to. Especially with the systems now, there is so many ways to obtain everything. It's just not as value. Sorry to keep talking about Master Duel, but you get 3 to 4 levels in the pass every game from 2 to 10 minutes and has 100 levels, but the main incentive, the mat, is at 50. Okay. I mean, that's interesting to give your main incentive at 50. I think that's fine. One thing I think I've seen Star Rail did, right, is they had like a 50-60 pass length. Then they added I think it was 50 pass, and then they added 70 levels, but the next 20 levels afterwards was kind of like just additional stuff. It's like, oh, this is kind of nice, this isn't very useful, but it's like, oh wow, I've maxed out the pass pretty early, the fuck else do I do? So that's kind of nice. Interesting that you get like 3 to 4 levels on a game though. The mate, not the mat. It's a little dude that advises you. Oh yeah, the thing that sits on the side, right? Like you have a little kind of like mascot thing. They can sit on the side for you in the games, right? In Master Duel. And they'll be mildly animated, I believe. Like they're a little 3D model, I think. Call me out if I'm wrong on this one. See, that, yeah, again, so that doesn't really change the argument though, but that is the point though, right? Is like, you gain the main thing that you'd want out of the pass early. See, whereas like Rainbow Six Siege, I don't know what it's like nowadays, but back when I played, the main thing you normally wanted out of the pass was the universal skin, which I think I only have 1 or 2 of from when I was playing. And to get that, you need to hit the end of the pass, which is not great. You gain levels equal to the rank you're in. If you're a rookie, you get 1 bronzes. Oh, okay. And yes, that's what mates are. Cool, okay. That's interesting. So, reward based on skill? There's some good and some bad to that, right? Because this sounds weird to say that, but like, the good part of that is that it incentivizes playing the game more and being better at the game, but like, yeah, I was about to say, like, that does put into a situation of, yeah, but the majority of your players aren't good. A majority of players are going to be bad. So I would hazard to say that, yeah, like, it's between 1 and 3 is the majority points that someone gets through per match. I mean, it's like ranked rewards are already a thing in most games. Does Master Duel have ranked rewards? So at the end of a season, for example, if there is that, you would gain a reward based on your finalizing rank. Is that system in there? Because if that isn't, then I think that's a reasonable approach. If it is, then I feel like it's doubling down. In a great tutorial, you can make one deck with 4,000 gems and some cosmetics. Okay. I mean, like, that's not bad sort of approach. There's some questions that are big with it. There are season points, but that just makes it if there are any advanced separate ranked ladders with special rulings and no synchro monster. Like, no, you get a few ranks instantly. Okay. Well, I guess that, yeah, then if that's the case and there's no like seasonal systems, like more direct seasonal systems, then sure. I don't know if I agree with an eternal rank format. I have mixed feelings on that. I do think that there is a good reason as to why we don't have that in most games. But there is an argument of how often you do it. Each event is always an event running, is a ranked ladder with 20 games, that if you win, you get a lot. Okay. Every month, if you don't play, you drop 2 ranks. Yeah, see, like, I would assume that there is some form of rank dropping like that. But, like, to give an idea, Hearthstone will have a ranked season technically every month. Which I have arguments of that one. And then League has its 2 splits a year. Right, I believe it is. And then there's the preseason split, which, sure, those ranks influence the next ranks that you'll get a little bit, right? But not by that much. My main account is completely fucked for its ranking, because I was once in Challenger, back when Challenger was easy as fuck to get in, because it had just released, and Oceania was fucking terrible. I would assume, based on my understanding, I would struggle to get into Emerald now, from what I've seen of games. And I'm still like fighting against Plats and above pretty consistently because of my rank being so fucking jank. It keeps trying to push me further up than I'm supposed to. Every year there's a dual cup, which has a thing, but if you have the most wins out of any player, yeah, the rewards are invited to an IRL Worlds Championship. That's cool. Always down for that sort of stuff. Okay, let's see what happens if we change this. Interesting, they narrow down a little bit there. Because I think they still got the collision, right? Do I need to add that as a thing? If they're... No, I talked about that another time and I said it should be fine, but maybe I don't. What is it? State pathing, I think it is, right? There we go. You have two games, Master Duel and Duel Links. Speed Duels, AQ. Easier, but yeah, it's because isn't it like more orientated around like the anime is what Duel Links is, I believe. So it's more around like making anime anime combos work. And then there's the IRL tournaments. Yeah, I mean the IRL tournaments constantly happen. I know about some of them in New Zealand. Okay, that amount seems to be a little. They don't even play speed duels in the anime. Well, I mean, I'm not saying. No, what I'm trying to say is with Duel Links, my understanding is that the games in that are designed to mirror the anime more by design and power level than they are to mirror the actual game itself. Because the actual power, like, if you took any of the original decks in like season 1 of the anime and tried to play those, they were shit. I speak from experience. Right, like one of the, ironically enough, probably one of the best character decks was Yugi post Exodia. Like once he'd lost Exodia, that deck was probably one of the best ones. Because it had the most removal and defense to my memory. Because you got like, what, off the top of my head, Kaiba's was all big cards and tech cards. Which was, it sounded good until you played it. The big boy, like the blue eyes just got wiped, right? Like that's how that works. Then Joey's was shit, absolutely garbage. I owned that one, that was terrible. Weevil's was horrendous. May Valentine's was, it had like 2 good cards if I remember correctly. Because I think that had like Harpy's Feather Duster, which was one of the best cards you could get. Joey had loads of generic cards. Yeah, Joey had, I mean, there was even a joke about it in the anime, right? Is that he mainly had monster cards. He didn't even have that good a spell card setup. So like I think the only combo he had was the Thousands Dragon, which ironically enough was just... Thousands Dragon meant that you lost a Time Wizard, and Time Wizard was stronger than Thousands Dragon in most cases, if you were good at the game. And prepared for it correctly. At that stage in the game, specifically. Draw 3 cards and put 2 into your deck in a game where they even had 1 card combos. Yeah. Like, if you were good at gambling, Time Wizard was good. Yeah, no, Time Wizard was incredible. And that was the thing, is the ceiling and floor for Time Wizard, the floor is below Thousands Time Dragon, sure, but the ceiling is so far above it, the average justifies not changing it into Thousands Dragon. And that's kind of the point, right? Who else had fucking decks at that point? Like, then eventually you get to, like, Pegasus, which arguably had one of the more, like, unique archetypes. But his deck was still, like, the Toon deck was really weird. I do not believe it was that good, in my opinion. I could be corrected to be wrong, and I would be fine with that, but, like, I do not remember that deck being good. Toons which had Summoning Sickness. Yeah, that's what it was. Summoning Sickness was the reason why it was bad. I couldn't quite put my hand on it. But yeah, the point was that again, Season 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! None of those decks were good, even in the era of Yu-Gi-Oh! That they were. That's kind of what the point I'm trying to make with Duel Links is to my understanding, a lot of the decks in that mirror original decks somewhat. So it's very carefully constructed to allow some of the worst decks in history to actually be good. Good enough to play. That's why, like, in Duel Links you can actually play Blue Eyes White Dragon and it not be a horrendous combo, whereas in Master Duel, realistically, if you're playing a Blue Eyes deck, you're playing Blue Eyes Jet Dragon to fucking spam the shit out of a 3000 minion that just resets your board constantly. Like, to my understanding, the only reason you run Blue Eyes in the Blue Eyes deck is because it's a Blue Eyes deck. There's so many other Blue Eyes cards now that are just better. And that's not even a good one. It's once per turn. Well, yeah, okay, it is once per turn, but the point is, though, is that it can be consistently on the board. And it is a big attack body. Right, like, again, I'm not trying to say that the deck is good, I'm trying to say that the best version of the deck doesn't even like its actual origin of its archetype in the modern day. That is the problem with those in the normal game. That's why I do appreciate Duel Links for somehow making really terrible cards kind of interesting. There's Blue Eyes called Alternative. Yeah, I do remember that one. Yeah, no, again, like that's kind of the point I'm trying to make, though. It's like, you only have the Blue Eyes in there because it's a Blue Eyes. Not because you want to play Blue Eyes White Dragon, because all of the other cards around it use Blue Eyes White Dragon. Like, there's also the fucking other one where, like, if you reveal it, I think you can get a Blue Eyes from your deck if you have it destroyed while it's... Is it face down, or is it when it's... I can't fucking remember. Hey, I'm not gonna say I remember these cards well. I'm just... It's an archetype that I thought was funny. I saw a few videos on it and it looked really bad. In the fact that, yeah, all of its strength was its auxiliary cards that got added later, not the cards that was the origin of the archetype. Is Buster blame? Well, I mean, like, yeah, because that's the thing, right? It's like there's the modern day versions of the Yugi and Kaiba decks, right? Because there's also a modern version of Dark Magician, which, ironically enough, most of its cards, I believe, are actually on the older side. I find that fascinating. But yeah. Needs 2 tributes and gains for each dragon your opponent has in their field or graveyard. Yes, I do remember a bit about it. I think I might have it somewhere. Can't remember. Does that work? But yeah, like at the end of the day, that's kind of its archetype turns the opponent's monsters into dragons, has a lot of little guys that equip to it and give it more effects and spells that summon it, and a fusion to... That is a just dragon capture jar? Okay. However, I bet you I could say effectively, off the top of my head, like, just an ogre's deck would probably fucking destroy it, right? Ogre's deck, the one where you sack health, right? And then like its cap card is like if your LP is lower than your opponent's, it's basically immune to everything in the game. Dinomorphia? This doesn't sound right. I can have a look in a sec. Again, I will openly admit this is, again, an area I'm not overly familiar with. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Wasn't Punk, was it? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, Punk I think's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's because there's some ogres and shit in there. That's yeah, Ghost Ogre, Snow Rabbit. I remember hearing some stuff of ogre in there. That's why. But there's one of the cap points that I remember for it. It's about as good as the Buster Blade. Yeah, but I think the point I was making is like I don't think there is a single like upgraded deck that what is it? It's I'm trying to remember. Ghost Ogre is a generic hand trap that sucks. Yeah, no, I remember that. What is the one? It's not Sky Arsenal. Which one was the one in it that's like the OP cap point for Punk, where like, is it Punk Dragon Drive? I don't think that's it. I think it's a good one from memory, but I don't think that was the OP cap for it. There was one I remember very specifically that while your LP was lower than your opponent's, it's immune to basically all effects. And I think it also did it pierce as well? Because I remember Dragon Drive being able to negate some stuff, but I don't think that's the one I'm thinking of. Is it Amazing Dragon? No, that's the sticky one, isn't it? Yeah. Psychic in Punisher, I think that's the one I'm thinking. Yeah, Psychic in Punisher, that sounds right. Well, your LP is less than or equal to your opponent's. The Synchro Summon card isn't affected by the opponent's activated effects. Once per turn, you can pay 1000 LP, then target one monster you control and one card your opponent controls and banish both of them. At the start of the battle phase, you can make this card gain attack equal to the difference. Yeah, that's the big capstone card for it. That's like, hey, Lamel, I'm less LP than you, so I win the game. Big boy, yeah. Like, mind you, that is one of those, like, if you manage to summon it, it's really pretty fucking strong, but, like, I'm pretty sure you didn't summon that in most games. You just had that in case you could. Because I remember there's like the field card for that deck as well, that like you pay 200 and I think you can draw a card. You do? Oh, okay. Because I know this is a deck that is all about like you're going to probably be below half LP once you've done your first combo. I remember that being one of the cases. You have a consistent combo that gets you to 3000 LP and summons you any synchro 11 or 10. Oh, okay. It's not considered very highly on this list, but that's kind of against the point that I'm trying to make. What is the highest rank on this list that I have? Kashtera. Kashtera is apparently the highest ranked deck on this list. Cyberverse Clock Dragon. Clock Dragon. He pretty. I can say that with certainty. The fuck is his effect though? Okay, time to read the effect. When this card is fusion summoned, you can send cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard equal to the total link rating of the materials used to the card's fusion. If you do, until the end of your next turn, other monsters you control cannot attack. Also, this card gains 1,000 attack for each card you sent to the graveyard by this effect. While you control a link monster, your opponent's monsters cannot target other monsters you control for attacks. Also, your opponent cannot target other monsters you control with card effects. Wait, why bother saying that separately? Okay. Wait, no, so while you control a link monster, your opponent's monsters cannot target your monsters you control for attacks. Also, your opponent cannot target other monsters you control with card effects. Does that mean that is separate conditional? So you don't need to have a link monster to have that additional effect? I assume not, which then begs the question, why not have your opponent's monsters cannot target... Your opponent cannot target other monsters you control with card effects, so that's the separate terminology. So that's... Just say your opponent cannot target your monster cards with attacks or card effects. Why is that so fucking difficult? If this fusion summon card you control is sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can add one spell from your deck to your hand. So what I got from this card is that you can, when you summon him, for the link monster you fused away, you discard cards from your deck, and then you gain 1,000 attack for each of the cards that you sent that, but none of your other monsters can attack. Is that right? Equal to the link rating of the materials used. Yeah, so it's because you need to use one link monster for it. Okay, and then if you also control another link monster, so you want to have 2 link monsters down for this, then... What the fuck? Okay, why not? So what was the next one that you wanted? An unfortunate report. Each link monster has a rating equivalent. Yeah, no, I don't know about that. Right, it takes the position of the defense, I believe, on the card. Why would you use this trap card? Why? So, to just iterate, something I'm gonna have to just get my head around. An unfortunate report, your opponent conducts their next battle phase twice. Why? Do you want to lose the game? There. Simple text. What the fuck? Why is it? For the memes? I guess. No, you know what they could have done for the memes, right? And I stand by this because fucking Hearthstone has done this, and that card was really fun with a card called Temporous. Temporous. Hearthstone. Right? Temporous is an example of that card being done both memey and fun. Which is Battlecry, your opponent takes 2 turns, then you take 2 turns. Make a trap card that's this, but it's your opponent conducts their next battle phase twice, then on your next turn you conduct your battle phase twice. Because then that's going to cause them into a situation of fuck, panic. Gift of Greed is another one. Of Greed. Is that even going to come up? No, that's not there. The Gift of Greed. Here we go. Your opponent draws 2 turns, 2 cards. Nah, I put that in my mill deck. Oh, whoops. Okay, weather report. Flip. Destroy all opponents face up. Swords are revealing light on the field. If swords are revealing light is destroyed, you can perform your battle phase twice this turn, or your next turn if activated during opponent's turn. That is so bad. That is so bad. Don't get me wrong, Swords of Revealing Light are one of the worst things to ever exist, and it is a bitch and a half, right? It is the perfect card for a combo deck. It's like, you know what? Chill, I need 3 turns. This was printed while it was banned? You're fucking shitting me. No. Really? I guess they printed this thinking maybe this would be enough to unban it, but like it's such a uniquely shit tech card. Like its stats are fucking not even that great either. If you want to make a cool tech card, you need to stat it really highly. This is the problem with tech cards in these games, right? This is the misunderstanding. Do you know one of the best tech cards in all of Hearthstone? If I can I just search in here? Here we are. This is the best tech card in all of Hearthstone history. A 5 mana 5/5, so slightly understated. Because 0 mana is 2. So is a stat of 2. So if this was to be perfect statted, it would be 5 mana 6/6. So lost a bit of stats. Battle Cry. Enemy spells cost 5 more next turn. Basically shutting out, keeping in mind this means that they can go over your mana amount that you have. So if you have a 7 mana clear for the board, you literally cannot play it because it goes to 11 mana. No, sorry, 12 mana. This card here is one of the best cards ever printed. And the fact that outside of the current meta in Wild, I believe this was still seen play in most combo decks. And it was used in aggro decks as well. Because like that's the thing, is a lot of people like, that's the fun thing. Someone that doesn't know Hearthstone will either call this a god tier card or a shit card. And the first are correct. It is the best card. This was the first expansion to Hearthstone that was ever released. So what was it? Rocket Arrow. Rocket Arrow Express. Okay, cannot be normal summon / set, must be special summon from your hand by controlling no cards, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you special summon this card. You cannot activate cards or effects or set any cards. During each of your standby phases, destroy this card unless you sent your entire hand to the... But why? But why? So, if I have no cards on the field, I can just summon this and attack. That's not good though. The conditions are too aggressive. I mean, you get a train? Sure, you get an immediate train, right? Like, it's one of those cards that, like, this actually, ironically enough, could be good in some contexts. You can't attack, is the thing. Wait, what? Oh, yes, because you cannot conduct your battle phase this turn. Oh, no, that's terrible, then. No, this is one of those cards, like, genuinely, if you remove the you can't conduct your battle phase, this card could actually be really, really good. Not OP, I would say, but good. It'd be fucking hysterical. But the fact that you cannot conduct your battle phase is... Because, like, the thing is, right, correct me if I'm wrong, the person that goes first has summoning sickness, right? The first turn of the game is summon sickness. Yes. So this is already a card that, like, if you go first, you do not want this card. Oh, hey, Sin. But nah, genuinely, why? Why would you make this card? This card's like... This is on the verge of being an interesting card, but then they fucked it. Can't sleep, so withering these ways. Fair enough. I mean, have you switched over from English, by the way? Because, dear God, I hated that game in English. I couldn't keep standing that. It was horrendous. I'm gonna probably write up like an actual formal review of that game soon. I'm about to switch it over. Honestly, do, because it's just like I've switched to Japanese, switched to whatever. Just don't have it on English because they just clearly did not care when porting in the English dialogue because it's just not filtered well. It's not handled correctly. There's a couple of bugs that are pissing me off, but game has issues of input. Was it beeping at the time when your inputs were having issues? If you had like headphones on or something. Yes, cool. Yeah, that's the bug. That's just, you have to the inputs fuck around for a little while. It's literally, there's no fixing this. It is an issue of the game. Yeah, a lot of people have been coming across this issue. There is no fix for it at the moment. I do think that that's one that's going to potentially kill a lot of its engagement. Because it's just like really irritating having and then you can't move. And you're in the middle of a fight and you're like, cool, I was in the middle of my fucking combo with the lightning dude, which requires you to actually keep the combo going, otherwise you lose the combo. Awful. Last sidetrack. I'm gonna give you 3 cards. You have to judge if they're good or terrible. Can I look them up? Am I all good to look them up? The amount of times I get wiped while trying a high level world boss and I can't do anything. Yeah, it is really irritating. Yes, you can. Cool. I can look them up. Alright. I'm literally just going to copy and paste. So that was the first one. I'm going to just copy and paste them first before I actually read anything about them. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Quarters, the Traphistic Delman. Okay. Synchro. So this is the summon requirements, I believe. Synchro is XYZ and then a link. That's okay. Very expensive. Once while this fusion summon card is face up on the field, you can pay LP in multiples of 2,000 and choose one effect for every 2,000 you pay. You can only apply each effect once and you resolve them in the listed order, skipping any that were not chosen. Okay, that's... Add 1 spell trap from your graveyard to your hand. That could be good. 2,000. Destroy 3 cards your opponent controls. That's not too bad. Could be cancelled out easily though. This turn, this card gains a tag equal to half of the difference between your LP and your opponent's. Also, your other monsters cannot attack. You can only use the effect of Corteus, the Traphistic Delman, once per turn. So if I chose all 3 of them, I get a minus 6,000 thing. Okay. I have one question to ask Pretzel on this card, and this will determine if it's like halfway decent or bad. Are the effects separate or considered separately when they're being done? So as an example on this, if I have something to counter a effect, would it cancel all 3 effects or would it cancel 1? They are not separate, however, you can re-choose if it is negated. Okay. Then it's bad. I'm sorry, the cost to summon is really high, and the effects are potent, mind you, but they're not enough to end the game, guaranteed. Like, this card itself also has no defense. So you'd need to have a deck that builds with it. Like, I could see it being a nice card in addition to finish. But, like, outside of, like, the punk comp, it is shit. The effects are great, but the card, it needs to summon to win the game. Or yeah. That's kind of where I was going, right? Is like this card needs to be able to win the game if you're costing a Synchro, an XYZ, and a Link. It's fucking bad. Alright, okay. Ocean Lord Neo Daedalus. Oh, Ocean Dragon Lord, sorry. This card cannot be normal summon or set. This card cannot be special summoned except by tributing 1 Levia Dragon Daedalus. You can send Umi you control to the graveyard to send all cards in both players' hands and on the field to the graveyard except this card. If it mentions a card, you can check that card. Okay. Because Umi, I believe, is the field card, right? Or off the top of my head, it's the field card. You can set 1 face-up Umi you control to the graveyard. Destroy all other cards on the field. This doesn't have a limit. Except this one does kill itself, right? Loads of them have stupidly good effects. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Yeah, that one kills itself. Okay, so the Ocean Dragon Lord doesn't, but the Levia Dragon does. If this had higher attack, I would say it's good. But I just... Because this feels like I need to guarantee a win, but it doesn't even guarantee a win, right? Because there's a couple of things I can think of that stop this from attacking from the graveyard. I mean, like, you just have a fucking Karibo and you're fucked, right? There's no effect prevention in this, and if it gets cancelled, it's not that... Nah, I don't see this being that good. Like, especially when you say that there's some of them, the Umis that have good effects. Like, that makes me think that this is supposed to work in that deck, but then you're getting rid of either those effects or you're stopping, like, or you've used it already and getting rid of it. Yeah. You go neg 5 because you attribute summoning a guy, attributing that guy, then getting rid of... Yeah. Okay. So, those two were bad. Final one. Each player draws 1 card, then each player discards 1 card. Is this good or not? Dark World Dealings. See, this, okay, I will say this one's a hard one to definitely gauge because card draw in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is exceptionally rare and normally quite highly conditional. The fear is obviously like if you draw for the opponent, you draw potentially them into one piece that they would need to, like, they get a Spirit Blossom out of it, right? That's the fear of this card. Each player discards one card as a compensation, and I'm assuming that means that they get to choose as well, because it's not discard random. They're pretty good about that text normally. Yeah, I don't know. I would say that this is situationally good, but most of the time bad. Like, I can see this fitting into some decks really, really well, and then most decks, no, it's bad. Also, I just realized the time. Good lord. We will need to wrap up soon. And by soon, I mean after you've given me the answer. But yeah, I think that's the statement on it. Is that in most cases this is bad, but there is like one or two decks that can use this card well. It's good. It's not a staple or anything, but in Dark World and most other decks, cards have the effect at the graveyard if you send them yourself. See? I fucking called it. You got 3 out of 3, congrats. See, this is what happens if I actually do sit here and do a hyper analyst, because that's the thing is, I go back to my like statement on analysis. In Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Card draw is rare and normally highly conditional. You'd want immediate draw, sounds nice. There is plenty of decks I know of that, yeah, discarding is good. And then I know cards that it's not good. In some decks it's not good to have to discard. The fear is obviously you draw one, like, they draw the enemy a fucking hand trap, but like that's always going to be the case. We gained 12 viewers because of it. Fair. I mean, to be honest, I also need to... my lecture has started already, so I need to finish up now. So, yeah, that's fun. We fixed the major things for today. Got this working, so woohoo. Once I played this and my opponent exodied... yeah, that's kind of my point, right? It's that sort of thing of like, you can easily get just completely destroyed by drawing the opponent one card. I 100% see that. Alright, so we're going to wrap up here though. Thank you so much for watching, hope you enjoyed. You're awesome, stay awesome, and I hope to see you again next time. Until then, bye-bye. All good about the sidetracking, I do not mind. Again, that's kind of what I said about this week.